Iya boyo ñaanal ma yaay suma iya boyo ñaanal ma yaay bu soobee Yàlla lépp dina baax ba may nekk gone yéen a ma daan wayal waaye léegi man maa lay wayal iya boyo ñaanal ma yaay suma iya boyo ñaanal ma yaay bu soobee Yàlla lépp dina baax ba may nekk gone yéen a ma daan wayal waaye léegi man maa lay wayal iya boyo ñaanal ma yaay suma iya boyo ñaanal ma yaay bu soobee Yàlla lépp dina baax ba may nekk
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the pre-match conference of Sudan versus Senegal. We have the head coach of Sudan, Coach James Presse De Appiah, and the player Faris Abdullah. We are going to take a minute for professional photos. Thank you very much. Yes, coach, you're going to play your last match of the group stage against Senegal. How is the preparation?
As you know, Senegal is the defending champions, and for that reason, we're going to let's try and give them a very good game. I keep saying that no team is easy in this competition, and for that reason, anything that you play, you need to prepare very well. Make sure you account for it.
Thank you very much, coach. Questions from the media?
Bonjour coach, Malan Sané, journaliste d'Espoir Dakar Sénégal. Ma question est la suivante. Après avoir survolé les Super Eagles du Nigeria 4-0, est-ce qu'on peut s'attendre demain face au Sénégal d'avoir une armada offensive du côté du Soudan pour vaincre l'équipe nationale du Sénégal? La deuxième question est la suivante. Est-ce qu'aujourd'hui vous êtes beaucoup plus ancré sur la première place que vous allez disputer demain contre le Sénégal? Merci.
Good morning, Coach. I'm Malang from Senegal. After your interesting offensive display beating Nigeria by 4-0, do we expect another all-offensive Sudanese team tomorrow? And then for the second question, tomorrow, is it more about ensuring that you finish first in the group or just getting a result?
football is about results, and for me, when you go on the pitch, the most important thing is concentrate on how you get the best results as a coach you want. I mean, if you play a game as a coach, once you finish that game, everything concerning that game, you put it behind you and look at what is ahead of you. Senegal, as I said earlier, is the defending champions, and no one can underrate them. So it's not going to be an easy walkover. We will need to really make sure we fight to the end of the game.
Ta question là, oui, selon moi, le football c'est un jeu de résultats. Pour nous, le plus important c'est le résultat. Et comme j'ai d'abord dit à mon entrée, le Sénégal c'est le champion en titre. On les respecte, mais pour nous, le plus important c'est le résultat. Et on ne pense plus du match du Nigeria parce que selon ma philosophie, quand on a fini un match, le match est fini, on met ça derrière nous et on se concentre sur ce qui reste à venir. Donc pour le moment, pour demain, on est tous concentrés pour faire le résultat lors du match de demain.
Coach, je reviens toujours. Par rapport au respect du Sénégal, vous avez évoqué à 3 reprises que le Sénégal est champion. Est-ce que vous êtes en train de mettre la pression sur le Sénégal ou pas? Ma deuxième question, sur vos 2 matchs, on ne vous a jamais vu debout sur votre surface technique. Vous êtes tout le temps assis et c'est vos assistants qui souvent communiquent avec vos joueurs. Qu'est-ce qui explique cette attitude venant de votre part? Merci.
Coach, you have mentioned on 3 occasions that Senegal are the holders of the competition. Somehow, can't we say that you're trying to put pressure on the Senegal team? And for my second question, Coach, in the last 2 games, that's the game against Nigeria and the game against Congo, most often it's your assistant that is on his feet, dishing out instructions. What explains this attitude of yours and the technical team? Is there something about it we need to know?
As to putting pressure on Senegal, it's something that everybody knows that they are the defending champions. But I think if you are a defending champion, don't think that I'm the best in the whole world. You should think of how to improve each game that you play. And coming from the side of Sudan, we all know the situation in Sudan. I don't need to repeat it again. And that makes it sometimes a bit difficult in our situation. But saying that, I have big respect for any other team that Sudan is playing. And I think I'm not putting pressure, but I'm making them aware that they should not think we won last year, so it will be easy this year. And the second question?
Maybe I translate the first and then I'll give the second. So, par rapport à l'affaire de pression, non, je pense que tout le monde est au courant que le Sénégal est champion en titre. Donc, pour nous, c'est pas un jeu de pression, c'est juste un rappel des statuts. Et je pense que quand tu as ce statut, tu as un peu plus de responsabilités. Mais nous, on est le Soudan, tout le monde connaît la réalité de notre pays maintenant. On respecte tous les adversaires, y compris le Sénégal. Donc, pour le match de demain, qui ne pense pas, on les respecte, mais qui ne pense pas qu'on va rendre ça facile pour eux. Nous, on est là pour chercher le résultat. Les champions entiers sont là pour chercher le résultat. Donc, tout le monde va utiliser ses moyens pour avoir le meilleur résultat pour lui. For the second question, he asked, in the last 2 games, you most often than not been the one leading the dishing out of instructions on the technical bench. You always play maybe second fiddle and your assistant is always the one in front. What explains this attitude from you and your technical crew? Is there something behind it that the world needs to know?
I don't know if he's been able to watch all our Sudan games. None of them. I'm always on the bench. But the most important thing, if you are the head coach, you need to let your assistants know exactly what you want from each player. And then tactically, they also need to understand your philosophy. So sometimes I issue instructions, and then they go out there to deliver it. And then secondly, there is a language barrier, you know, in terms of communication to the players. So sometimes it's better you allow one who can communicate direct to stand out there to give direct instructions, because they keep running around, and if you don't communicate direct, it's not the best. And that's why I allow my Sudanese assistant to be out there.
Je ne sais pas si tu as regardé tout le match du Soudan. Je suis toujours au banc. Je suis toujours là, mais je donne la place à mes assistants de travailler aussi. Le plus important, c'est qu'on fait comme une équipe. Il faut savoir une réalité chez nous. Il y a cette difficulté de transmettre de l'information. On a cette difficulté en cause de nos langues, nos différentes langues, c'est-à-dire anglais et arabe. Donc les assistants maîtrisent, surtout les assistants soudanaises maîtrisent mieux. Donc je prends le recul, je les donne les ordres et ils sont plus proches des joueurs au lieu d'être devant et avoir cette difficulté de passer le message. Je laisse mes assistants travailler, ils prennent les informations chez moi, ils communiquent facilement avec les joueurs et ça rend ça plus facile pour nous.
Coach, good to see you again. I didn't get a chance to congratulate you on your victory after the Nigeria game, so congratulations for that to you and your players. If I could ask you a few questions. Firstly, are you missing any players for tomorrow's encounter? The other thing I'd like to know is set pieces often prove quite critical, particularly in African Nations Championship matches. We've seen that across the groups. How much emphasis have you actually put on that aspect of the game in preparations? And can I ask how you've been keeping your players sharp over this last week, knowing that there's been a full week between the matches, please? Sorry, I know that's a few questions, but...
Can I take them question one by one? Is it possible?
Okay, so the first question, are you missing any players?
Am I risking?
Are you missing any players? Is everybody available?
Initially, my top striker and my captain, they got injured, so I had to take them out of the list. And at the moment, those that I've been working with since the Congo match, there's no injuries and everyone is fully fit.
Okay. Second question was about set pieces. They're often critical in African Nations Championship. How much emphasis are you putting on set pieces in training in the build-up to the Senegal game?
Modern football is always difficult nowadays to get goals through the field of play. The easiest and most reliable are your set pieces, you know. So I think every coach is working on how best he can utilize his set pieces to get goals from it. So it's something that we're working on. It's not easy, but since, you know, when it's a club side, it's easier because the club, you are with the team always. And there are so many things that you as a coach can do. But with the national team, you get players very few a week or so to try and make sure your players are able to implement your set pieces right. So it's something that we're working on.
Okay. And then how have you been keeping your players sharp, given that you've had a full week, rather than the other groups where they've been playing every 3 or 4 days?
Yeah. As you saw in the Congo game, I actually came here, and I even complained that we only had 3 training sessions, you know, as a group. And that wasn't the best for us. After the Congo game, we were able to have a week's training, before the Nigeria game, and then we had another 1 week training before the Senegal game. So I think it's enough, to put up a good team.
Je reviens pour mon ami, le joueur, capitaine. On vous a vu la fois passée beaucoup plus offensive, les deux arrières latéraux, entre vous et le numéro 19 qui a joué arrière droit. Est-ce qu'on peut avoir cette idée que demain aussi vous serez beaucoup plus offensif, sachant qu'un match nul vous qualifie? La deuxième question, c'est pour le coach. Il y a quelques mois, vous avez joué le Sénégal à Benghazi pour les qualifications de Coupe du Monde. Et beaucoup d'entre eux qui jouent le CHAN étaient présents. Vous allez jouer ce même Sénégal demain, c'est vrai que c'est la même philosophie, et que vous allez les jouer le 4 septembre à Dakar, à Diamniadio, pour la qualification du Coupe du Monde. Est-ce que vous aborderez le match de la même façon que l'équipe qui va jouer la Coupe du Monde ou pas? Merci.
Okay, my first question is for my friend Faris. It's your friend. First question is for you. In the game against Congo, you combined with the number 19. You combined with the number 19, and you guys were very, very offensive. Do we expect to see that combination tomorrow?
So the question to me or to Faris?
Faris. Translate. Hello.
You have to speak in Arabic.
السلام عليكم فارس. أقول ليش يقول لي الحين يريد أنت كلمة كيف من كورة، كيف من أولاد كله، كيف يعني؟
أولا غدا منتظرنا مباراة كبيرة ضد المنتخب السنغالي، والمنتخب السنغالي طبعا يعني آخر منتخب إنه أحرز البطولة، ومعروف إن المنتخب السنغالي منتخب كبير في القارة الإفريقية، وإن شاء الله برضو المنتخب السوداني إنه جاهز للمباراة، وبالنسبة لنا المباراة فيها تحدي وإصرار وعزيمة إنه عشان يدخل إلى الدورة الثانية، دورة الثمانية، ونحن خاشين المباراة باحتمالات، يعني ممكن التعادل، ممكن الفوز عشان إنه نصدر المجموعة، ونحن سعيين إنه نصدر المجموعة عشان نلعب في زنزبار. ونحن جينا الدورة ما جينا لاجل التمثيل فقط، جينا إنه نقدم أفضل ما عندنا ونمشي إلى مراحل متقدمة، وإن شاء الله نحن سعيين إنه نمشي بعيد وربنا يوفق إن شاء الله.
كيف يعني أول كل أنت وأولادك كيف يعني ما يسوي حلو من كورة؟
نعم.
كيف أول كورة يسوي داخل كورة؟ كيف ما يسوي حلو كورة كله؟
والله طبعا ما فهمت كلامي كويس، لكن كرة السنغال غدا هي مصيرية بالنسبة للمنتخب السوداني، ونحن يعني مع الجهاز الفني إنه اشتغلنا على السلبيات والإيجابيات، ودرسنا إنه المنتخب السنغالي بيلعب كيف، وإن شاء الله بكرة في الملعب إنه قادرين نتعامل مع المنتخب السنغالي وندحل إن شاء الله.
أوكي شكرا.
Okay, well, he said that before they didn't do well because of the football players, some of them are not good. But for this time, they will do better.
Coach, Malang came back to it and said in a few months back in Benghazi, you led this Sudanese team against Senegal in the World Cup qualifiers. Tomorrow is against the same Senegal. They have the same playing philosophy. And in a few months' time, in September, you're going to play again against Senegal in the World Cup qualifiers. So the transition between these games, what are you picking from one to another? And do you think this game may have anything to do with these 3 matches?
In actual fact, I don't know whether he watched the Senegal game in Benghazi. I don't believe in defending, It's always better, the best way to defend is to attack and make sure, because you are playing for goals and you are 11-11, why should you be always staying back? There should be no, and for me, whether it's CHAN or AFCON or World Cup qualifier, the intention or the philosophy should be the same. So that at least, whatever it is, you tune in your players to follow your philosophy.
Je ne sais pas si vous avez assisté au match à Benghazi, mais selon moi, j'ai ma manière de regarder le football. Moi, la meilleure manière de faire la défense, c'est pour être offensif. Pourquoi aligner une équipe et tu leur demandes de défendre alors que vous êtes 11 contre 11? Dans tous les matchs où j'ai fait avec mes joueurs, je leur fais comprendre que la meilleure manière de bien défendre, c'est pour être offensif. Donc, c'est la même chose chaque fois quand je fais des sorties. C'est pour être offensif, pour aller vers l'avant et chercher à marquer et faire des résultats.
Thank you so much, Coach. Thank you, Faris, and good luck.
Thank you.
anniversaire am ñu nekkoon à table ñu feetal ko ak waa hôtel bi mu nekkoon ambiance boo xam ne ambiance bu bon enfant tey war na rek xale yi ñu ngi ci jàmm day war na rek xale yi ñoom ñëpp cohésion bi mi ngi fi day war na ñoom ñëpp état d'esprit bu positif la donc loolu dañ koy sant yàlla di wax bay yàlla ay li joyeux anniversaire yàlla na ko fekk déwén bitim réew mu signé contrat professionnel